Hey everybody, Morley Scott and Dave Campbell here in Ottawa at beautiful TD Place Stadium, one of my favorite places to come in the Canadian Football League, the Eskimos and the Ottawa RedBlacks tomorrow. Dave, it's a similar situation for the Eskimos. They had it a couple of weeks ago when they were in Winnipeg, a depleted defensive backfield that they're going to be going up against. Ottawa's got some trouble in the secondary, and the Eskimos obviously want to try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure. Losing a couple of key veterans in Jarrell Gavins and Abdul Kanay, and even their depth has been hurt because Tristan Jackson, who would have probably filled in at the corner spot, is not going to play as well. So they're going to see the likes of Jonathan Rose, and they're going to see a couple more guys that they maybe haven't seen before. So it's an opportunity. But you know, we said this when the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had a depleted secondary, and just ask the Eskimos how Terrence Frederick did. He did pretty good. So it's going to be a challenge, but you know, the Eskimos have to be sharp, and they have to do what they do well, and that is move the ball, be aggressive, get the ball downfield, but they got to cut out the mistakes. And there's been too many mistakes over the last 6 quarters of football.
I think it's safe to say, though, that Mike Riley is on his way possibly to a 9th straight 300-yard game, which would set a new CFL record. So he's been throwing the ball terrific. The receivers have been catching the ball. He says it's mostly the offensive line and the receivers doing the work, but he's still hitting the targets out there and continues to have just a great season.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, I don't know how much better he can get, and he'll tell you I can get a lot better, and he'll say even the last 6 quarters, yeah, I'm getting the numbers. And you know how he bugs me about stats. Dave, is another stat. I don't care about stats. The only stat I care about is wins and losses. He hasn't won in the last 2 games. So, but there's definitely, I would say, when you look at the list of problems on this football team, Mike Riley's at the bottom of that list. He's just been on fire. And Darius Bowman said this week, you know, he's just raised it to another level. He's using his voice better in the huddle, and you know, it's just amazing to watch Mike Riley operate.
Biggest thing the Eskimos have to do, I think, is win. They've lost 2 in a row. Winnipeg's already won this week. BC won last night. Calgary won last night. If you don't start winning, you're going to fall off the pace. Already they're sitting in 4th place in the West. Granted, with a couple of games in hand on some teams, but they got to start winning.
I mean, is it going to work in reverse? They usually say if you want to get a home playoff game in the CFL, win all your home games and win half your games on the road. Well, maybe it's going to work in reverse because the road teams are so good this year. It probably won't work that way, but you're right. They got to win, and it starts tomorrow night. They got to do it, or else they're going to slip further and further down in the standings, and they're going to have to climb over teams, and they're going to have, you know, you don't want to have, okay, we have a 4-point gap, we have a 6-point gap. They got to get a win here tomorrow night. This is a must win for sure.
Well, if you look way over there's a little window way up there. We're going to be sitting in that window tomorrow, 3:30 for the pregame show, 5 o'clock for the kickoff. The Eskimos and the RedBlacks from Ottawa.